I don't know why my background doesn't show up anymore. Okay, welcome to the locker room. I am Nancy. It is 3:08. I'm sorry I was late. It took a little longer at physical therapy this time because he did dry needling and boy, does that hurt. Okay. So, anyway, so today we're going to do the latest updates on Sebastian Rogers because I have not seen the last two episodes of Mob Crew, and he has found some interesting stuff. But we're going to start out with Spirit Seeker Squad because she has asked, whoops, sorry, she has asked the same questions that I have asked in the past. Okay, so first of all, we'll subscribe to her channel and we'll give her a like and we'll give her a bell notification and then we'll bring up the page and then we'll start playing.
Hey. Welcome back to my channel. I am not feeling the greatest, but I have this information that I have to share with you. So I'm doing this as a recording so that I can upload it. I made a video and I was going to just upload the video and share it with you guys. And then I was like, no. As I was making the video, there were so many things that stood out to me that I was like, oh, I missed that. Oh my gosh, how do I put that in a video and get my point across? Because I didn't put my words in the video. So I'm putting my words in the video with a clouded brain right now because I am so sick. My whole house is sick. All of us are sick. It's horrible.
I wonder how she gets that to scroll like that. I haven't figured that one out.
But I'm going to share this video with you and I'm going to break down these details and I'm going to tell you that I know from Chris Proudfoot's own mouth that Sebastian reached out for help from CPS on more than one occasion. Let's do this.
How did you discipline him since he, how did you discipline?
Sebastian in general?
Yeah.
Well, that depends. The punishment has to fit the crime.
Okay, so that was the first clip. This is from Smiley Stories World channel when she did this 3-hour, God bless her, interview with Chris Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot. And this is Sebastian Rogers. He is a 15-year-old autistic child who is missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. He has been missing for over a month. This is his mother, Katie, and his stepfather, Christopher, or Mr. Chris, is what Sebastian called him. This was on March 20th, 2024, that this interview was done. So the first little clip here is the punishment has to fit the crime, right? We're going to keep going.
So to speak. I don't know how to say this any other way, and please forgive me because it's going to
You're
sound
fine.
like
Say it. Say it.
It's going to sound very jerkish, but I don't want softball questions. People wanted to ask me the hard questions. By golly, let's get these hard questions out.
Okay, so when does CP ever not sound jerkish? I just had to put my cents worth in because that man always sounds like a jerk. He thinks he knows more than anybody else on this planet. He's going to get busted and busted hard.
Okay, he wants the hardball questions, not the softball questions, okay? People have been asking him all these softball questions. He wants these hard questions. This is because, in my opinion, as you can see up in the top corner of the screen here, it says, my opinion. My opinion is, you're going to get a lot of my opinion during this video. I'm just letting you know. My opinion is he thinks that he's the smartest guy in this whole damn room. This whole damn earth. He is the smartest guy. And no matter what you say, he's going to top it. He's going to have an answer for you. He's going to come back with something. He thinks he is always right, no matter what it is. And you're going to see more of that in just this 9-minute video that I'm sharing with you right now.
Sorry, but I just,
Well, let me start. Okay. Have you ever had CPS called on you before?
yes.
Okay. Okay. And you don't have to go into it elaborate or anything.
Okay, we all heard him say yes, right? Yes. CPS has been called. Now, why? Why was CPS called, Mr. Chris?
Like that. I just, that was the question that I had. And that happens, sometimes, especially when you have a child who is, has special needs and stuff. That's
I've had
hard.
it. Well, I'll be honest with you. I've had CPS called on me in 2 states,
Mhm.
New Mexico and Tennessee.
In 2 states, New Mexico and Tennessee. All right, let's keep listening.
And and that, did that include with Sebastian?
Tennessee was Sebastian, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And in fact,
Tennessee was Sebastian, yes, ma'am. In fact, what?
Okay, we know that New Mexico was over Faith when him and Miss Dirty Socks decided that they were going to take Faith away from Nina. And that didn't happen. What happened right now is my son just came home from school because last night he borrowed my truck and we can't find my truck keys. And he's trying to look for my truck keys right now.
Mr. Chris?
Sebastian here. I'll just, like I said,
Now he's about to say he has nothing to hide because Mr. Chris he thinks he's always right. So of course he has to tell the story so he can degrade Sebastian some more. In my opinion, listen to the way that he degrades this child. Now put yourself in Sebastian's shoes, okay? You feel kind of helpless. You feel like you don't really feel safe, okay? With at least one of your parents at home, you don't feel totally safe. So you reach out. You reach out to people you're supposed to trust at school. Now listen to this story.
One of our cheese partners had a massive batch of pecorino lined up for a customer who ended up backing out. Perfectly good, insanely flavorful.
I got nothing to hide. So Sebastian went to school one day because we were at the house. He got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, "Where's your belt?" And got it. Whack. Kind of got him.
Okay, so he said he got in trouble, but he didn't have his belt on. So he didn't get in trouble for not having a belt on. He got in trouble, and Mr. Chris was going to whack him on his butt with his own belt. Instead of using Mr. Chris's belt, he was going to use Sebastian's belt.
That's the way I understood it.
But Sebastian didn't have a belt on. So he got it. And then Mr. Chris says, whack, kind of got him. Like he was bragging about it. Like he was, yep, whack, kind of got him, I kind of whacked his ass. Yeah, like it's a fucking joke, okay? I told you guys I'm sick. My patience is very, very, very thin right now. I probably shouldn't be making this video if I want to be 1,000% honest with everybody, but I need to share this with you guys.
So he goes to school and he tells the teacher, they're mandatory reporters. So the teacher reports it.
Mm-hmm.
That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house.
Okay, so he went to school and he told the teacher, right? The teacher has to report it. That's what children are supposed to do. They're supposed to be able to go to school and feel safe to talk to the adults at the school. They're supposed to be able to tell if something bad is happening at home, or if they don't feel safe at home, or if they feel like they're in danger at home. They're supposed to be able to confide in their teachers at school so that they can be checked on by Child Protective Services, right? CPS, they protect the children, right? That's their job, right? I thought so.
While we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house.
Okay, he shows and then he stops. He showed what? Did Mr. Chris leave marks? Is that what he showed somebody at school? Because he retracted that like pretty quick, right? Let me see if I can go back here. We're going to listen to this again. he shows now this, he stumbles over his words a lot right here. So this is very, very, very important. Ready?
He shows, he makes a report. They come to the house.
He shows, so they make a report
Hey,
and
who's
they come to the
leaving,
house.
Amanda?
It gets better.
And the lady who comes to the house is the same lady she's had a case before.
It's the same lady. What, Mr. Chris? I'm sorry. Let's go back again, please. It's the same lady that's been at your house before? What?
Lady who comes to the
He came
house
in
is
to
the same lady
inform me. He didn't buy
she's had
my
a case
turkey.
before.
It's the same lady we've had, and she's had a case before. He started stuttering there, huh?
Now, the case that was before.
Okay, so now I don't think he meant to mention that he knew this lady from a previous call. I think that was an oopsie. So this wasn't the first time he had met this worker, but now he has to explain it and try to minimize it because he already let the cat out the bag. So let's listen to his explanation of the first time that this CPS woman. Now, and this baffles me too, because I know CPS goes through casework.
Okay. Amanda Panda says, I thought the DHS was 2x1 in Mexico and this was the one in Tennessee. How is that the same caseworker? Because he's had 5 CPS reports on him in the 17 months since they moved into that house before Sebastian went missing. And he has 4 in Tennessee and 1 in New Mexico. So he's had 5 CPS cases open on him. So that's how it happened.
Like they say, multiple times, like they change out, the workers will start working and then they realize that they can't do the job or they don't get paid enough to do the job or whatever. They cycle out. So there's constantly new workers coming in. Also, there's so many cases that their caseload fills so quickly that each new person that comes in catches most of the new cases. So what a coincidence that this same woman came to the house twice. And was this the only 2 times that CPS has ever been at the Proudfoot house? I doubt it. Let's keep listening. And I'm even going to go back and we're going to listen to it all the way straight through, all the way back to he shows. Okay, let's go all the way back here, right here. Here we go.
He shows, he makes a report. They come to the house. And the lady who comes to the house is the same lady she's had a case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that were shoved into one. And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3, and it caused a commotion." Well,
It was Sebastian's fault. He messed it up. So Sebastian had told someone about it.
That was Chris almost admitting to the 3 prior CPS reports since they moved into that house before the one in February or January, right before Sebastian went missing.
Another situation, but he told 3 different stories, allegedly, which caused such a commotion that it led to CPS knocking at their door. I mean, so the call that he's trying to talk about was because Sebastian was mad that he got punished. The first call, or this other call, I won't say first because I don't know if it's the first call or not, but this other call that he's referring to, Sebastian just got confused and started telling 3 different stories. Darn Sebastian, man. I have never heard a child be talked about in such a demeaning way in such a short period of time. We're only 2 minutes and 24 seconds into this 9-minute video. I can tell Mr. Chris thinks really highly of his stepson, huh? What you think?
1 spoonful of honey with cinnamon before bed equals 0 memory collapse. The secret, the $1 billion.
they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up, and I said,
Okay, so he said, so the one on me. So does that mean the other story that he was talking about wasn't against him? Was it against mom? What other reason would CPS be at the house? Because Sebastian spoke to his teachers at school about a situation that was happening at home. He got so confused. He told 3 different stories, but it wasn't on Chris. This punishment situation, now that was on Chris. I remember, this is all in my opinion, allegedly. I'm just trying to make this all make sense, right? These are Mr. Chris's words, and I'm just trying to understand what he's saying. And I will also say this. I don't know exactly what happened to Sebastian. I don't know where Sebastian is right now today. I don't know how he got out of the house on February 26th. I don't know. But I do know that this Mr. Chris is a Mr. Ass, in my opinion. He is one of those adults that I used to despise when I was growing up, because I was taught, if you want respect, you give respect. You want me to respect you, then you respect me. That's how my mom raised me. She would respect me, and in turn, I was to respect her. And this asshole, I don't see him that way. He's the adult. He gets the respect, period. It doesn't matter how much of an ass he is. He's the adult. He's the elder. So he
That
always
right there, this pink sign was
gets the
my mother's
respect.
philosophy.
Because in his brain, he deserves it because he's an adult. Bullshit. I disagree with that. If I'm treating any other human like shit, I do not expect them to respect me, because it goes back to treat others.
Let me clarify that. Most of the time, she was give respect, get respect. But towards the end, after she got cancer, and she had cancer in her brain, things started changing. And then she was more like, you got to give me the respect. That's the way it was. It wasn't, my mom wasn't a mean, hard person all her life. I love my mom. She was my best friend until she passed away.
Others how you want to be treated, you know? You want to be told what to do. You want to be treated like a dog. You want to be degraded, demeaned all the time. I'm not going to respect you for that. No, thank you. Sorry. Move on. Okay, but that's how I see Mr. Chris. He thinks that, you know, I think you get it. Let's keep going.
"Hey, how you doing?" It's her again. She's like, "Oh, hey." She goes, "Hey, I already don't." She's like, "Don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened." And I said, "Okay." She goes,
So he's making it sound like she was like, oh, it's the kid, right? It's the kid. The kid's the problem. I'm here to protect the kid, but the kid's the problem, right? And Mr. Chris, of course, it's like, well, yeah, it's the kid. He's the problem. I'm not the problem. He's the problem. And the lady's like, ha, ha, ha. I know, Mr. Chris, you're not the problem.
I'm sorry, anybody that's ever had DCS come to their house, or DHS, or however you want to put it, the caseworker comes in and tells you why they're there. It's not the way Chris is putting it. It's not, don't tell me what's going on, and I'll tell you what I know. It's not like that. Because the only reason you can tell CPS up front is if somebody's warned you that they're coming and you've made up a big fat lie. So CPS comes in, they tell you what they have to check for, why they're there, and then that they want to talk to the child. And they're not supposed to be able to repeat to you what they told that child. Now, if he has doorbell cam and they were out on the front porch and one of them was standing in front of the doorbell, he could listen into the conversation. But, which is illegal as well.
Fucking serious.
boom, boom, boom. She told me exactly what happened. I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "Oh my God." I said, "Yes, ma'am. This is how it's been." Sebastian thought by telling on me,
Telling on me.
making it sound like I was so horrible.
He lost signal. That was the best
Oh,
part
you
of the
cut
interview
out.
right here.
You cut out just a minute.
That I was going to get in trouble over something stupid. And I was like, no, Sebastian, you got punished, man. You got punished. And he was like, but. And I was like, you got punished.
Okay, so I know that I'm not the only one that has noticed this, that Mr. Chris is constantly mocking this 15-year-old child on the spectrum. Constantly. But, and that he does that multiple times. I think almost every time that I've heard him, even when he was talking to Nancy Grace, you'll see that towards the end of this video clip that I have here, he mocks Sebastian at least twice in this 9-minute video. Can you imagine what a day was like with Mr. Chris and Sebastian? Can you imagine the frustration for a child that's not on the spectrum being around Mr. Chris all day, every day? Or all day, just a full day, a full 24-hour day? Can you imagine the stress, the anxiety, the fear, the pressure, the on edge, walking on eggshells, and then you put a child on the spectrum around that? Shame on Katie, in my opinion. My son is on the spectrum very much like Sebastian has been described. So much so that when Katie was talking about his school picture, she said that he had a chocolate milk mustache because he didn't think to wipe his mouth before he took his pictures that day. My son has the exact same chocolate milk mustache in his school pictures. Never, ever would I let Mr. Chris talk to my child that way. My son is 14, and there is no way I would be damned if that man would speak to my child that way.
And the lady took him outside. She goes, Sebastian, just because you get in trouble and you get punished, you need to understand when you go and you say things about people and you lie and you fabricate things and you make it sound worse than what it is, sir, you can get in trouble for that.
As I put on the screen here. So they made this autistic child feel like he would get in trouble for reaching out for help. That's what Mr. Chris just told us.
So we had that happen, and the lady was like, I am so sorry. And I said, no, he's just a child. He's upset. It is.
So the adult is okay, but the child is not. I didn't realize that Child Protective Services was there to console the adults that were accused by the child. The fuck is wrong with this story?
It's what it is. I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he sat that back down at the dinner table and was like, see, eat your food. And we went back and everything's been fine.
Ha ha ha, I win, you lose, ha ha ha. I mean, he gave us that laugh. That's the laugh that he gave Sebastian when they sat back down at the dinner table. Mr. Chris was like, ha, 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 I win, you lose, suck it up. Can you hear it? Can you imagine being that child? Can you imagine being that mother watching your child? Like, did she think it was funny when Mr. Chris laughed at her son? Because now he's in fear that he can get in trouble for reaching out for help? I'm so disappointed. I am beyond disappointed. And that's me being careful of what I say.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I have to do it like this.
Y'all, for clarification, no, I did not allow him to beat my son with a belt. He did not beat my son with a belt.
But he does belittle your son and degrade your son and mock your son and laugh at your son and make your son feel unwanted and dumb and less than, doesn't he? Right? Am I wrong? He didn't beat your son when he whipped him with a belt. I'll give you that. But what else was he doing? I'd rather be hit with the belt than be emotionally and mentally traumatized. I know firsthand.
Now, to be honest with you, it has nothing to do with finding my son.
You don't think that you don't okay. All right. Well, look, man.
How does CPS have to do with anything finding Sebastian?
Okay, he's about to say this. Okay, so he's telling Josh that his CPS cases don't have anything to do with finding Sebastian.
She's talking to Josh from the lab. He's another content creator.
at all, right? Okay, well, Sebastian ran away. He could have been running away because of the incidents that he's been put in fear. He felt like he couldn't tell anybody at school because Mr. Chris has already made best friends with them. So anytime they come to the house, they just laugh at him and ha ha ha, you lose. So he can't reach out to anybody at school. But he was intimidated, in my opinion. Like I said, there's a lot of my opinion here, okay? I think he was intimidated by Mr. Chris and he was scared to reach out. And if he ran away, I could see that as a reason why. So I think that the CPS cases are very relevant to the situation.
I'm skipping
And
forward
that
to
resulted
Nancy
in
Grace
CPS because Sebastian told at school and CPS was sent to the house and Mr. Chris talked his way out of it. And then they both told Sebastian that he could get in trouble for telling people at school that he got hit with a belt, right? Now, this was a 3-hour interview that Smiley did. This clip right here was towards the end. I did them in order. This one was towards the end. So now Chris and Katie are on Nancy Grace. And this is 5 days after they were on Smiley's panel.
Got a question for you.
Yes,
I want to find out about Mr. Proudfoot hitting Sebastian with a belt. What happened?
That was actually several years ago, and it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot. To
to
Mr.
Mr.
Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proudfoot, what happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were asking Katie. Sebastian had gotten in trouble. He got caught lying. And I had asked him, I said, hey, you got to have a punishment for this. He says, yes, sir. And I said, okay. So I gave him a swat with a belt on his buttocks on the outside of his clothes, one swat.
Do not buy this pressurized handheld steamer because you will see just how clean you can.
Now, I think that this was the last interview that Chris and Katie did. And before this, they had done a few. I think that somebody had given them the advice to shorten up their answers, not elaborate on everything, not give so much detail. So when they get on here with Nancy, I think she has them intimidated a little bit. And that's why they're both sitting there looking like they're sedated or some shit. And it's yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And she has to like pry answers out of them to get more than yes, ma'am, no, ma'am out of them.
What did he lie about?
Honestly, I don't remember at the time, but it was probably something dealing with school because that's the majority where his issues lie.
Did he have other issues at school?
Now, one thing I like about Nancy Grace is her face doesn't lie. Like you can look at her face and know exactly what she thinks, what she wants to say, but she doesn't say. And I think that when they put Chris and Katie full screen, it's to hide Nancy's face. Watch that. We're almost done here. We're less than 3 minutes to go here.
Some behavioral stuff, but nothing too crazy. Causes an issue, and instead of being honest about it, he'll lie. Like, no, I didn't. Okay, Sebastian.
Okay, this smug, smart-ass look right here. I have never in my life looked at either one of my children with that face, ever. And he just said, okay, Sebastian. Now, he gave him that look. He spoke in that tone to him. He just mocked Sebastian and then said what his response would be or was. That smart-ass look right there. That face says, I win, you lose. That's such a
Not
smackable
stop,
face.
and he continues on. So then it causes an issue, and instead of being honest about it, he'll lie. Like, no, I didn't. Okay, Sebastian.
Was that the first time? Was that the first time you had ever hit him with the belt?
Yes, ma'am. The one and only time, actually.
I don't believe that.
When was this?
Years ago, ma'am.
I don't believe that either.
Any idea how many?
Okay, if it was years ago, how could the CPS report over him getting hit with a belt have happened in January of 2024? If it was years ago, I don't believe that crap.
3, 10, 1.
It probably at least 3 years ago.
I don't understand how that turned into a CPS or Child Protective Services complaint. How were they
That-
alerted
that-
that you hit him with a belt?
That did not turn into a CPS service call.
Didn't he just tell us on Smiley's panel 5 days earlier a whole different story? So he's a liar. So he just lied.
And look at Nancy's face. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? I know that's what my producer told me.
To Nancy Grace. And you can see that look on her face right there. She's saying, excuse me? You think that her team didn't do their research? You think that she didn't already hear that clip, the clip that we just watched in this 9-minute video? You think she didn't already hear that? I'd say busted. That look right there, busted. Liar, in my opinion.
You hit him with a belt.
That did not turn into a CPS service call.
There were other CPS reports, right? Were they regarding your other child?
There is one in regards to my daughter that I know of out in New Mexico with my ex-wife and myself.
Then how does that turn into a CPS complaint against you?
I have no idea, ma'am.
So he's going to blame it on rumors, not words that he said out of his own mouth. Just rumors, speculation. You know, it's not his own words, but we already.
Excuse me, the CPS report out in New Mexico was when you tried to steal your daughter from your ex-wife before she was your ex-wife.
Heard.
I have no idea, ma'am. There's a lot of misinformation out there right now in regards to my New Mexico case that actually has no relevance to the Sebastian case.
I've got a question about the belt incident. You're telling me that was the only time that you ever hit Sebastian with a belt.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also telling me that did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am, that did not.
That did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am, that did not.
Because he shows something at school and the CPS worker came to the house again. That wasn't her first time at your house. And she told you that she knew what had happened. And you guys, you and the CPS worker allegedly made Sebastian feel like he couldn't reach out for help anywhere.
That's pretty much the end of her. But she makes some excellent points. Chris Proudfoot is trying to make sure that he is actually running CPS and telling them what they can think and what they can say, and you know, when it has to come to him and Sebastian. Okay, so next we're going to go to the mob crew, which is the reason y'all are here. Whoops, I didn't want that. All right. Now this is the first video. It says Proudfoot caught lying about Sebastian Rogers and 3 a.m. lights. I've not seen this video. It was like 20 hours ago when it was posted. So that was just yesterday evening. Let's do all the subscribe. I don't know why YouTube wants me to subscribe to things I'm already subscribed to, but let's do it anyway. I guess it's just so I can show you that I'm subscribing. Okay, so anyway, we're going to pull this up full screen. And I probably, sometimes Chris takes a while. He lets people get into his room before he actually gets into what's going on. So I may be skipping a little bit, but I don't know. I haven't watched this particular video.
Buddy, happy Sunday. I hope everybody is doing well. Give me a second to fix this. All right. And as always, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the show. I was going to do a members live, but I was working on the video that I released earlier today, and it just took a lot longer, and I wanted to do something special for the members. So hopefully tomorrow I can do
Yes, when you're just looking for a reminder.
Fix this, but Yeah, there's still a lot of stuff, if you guys here for the show on Saturday, I believe it was, or Friday, I'm sorry, gosh, time flies. Where of course, which if you saw my video earlier today, catching them lying about the neighbor taking out the trash, which again is absolutely disturbing and disgusting that they would do that. Part of this live is to piggyback off that and then move into some other territory as well.
It took me 30 years of doing laundry to learn this, but I'll teach it to you in about 1 minute.
We all know that liquid detergents don't have a hard time dissolving in water, even though they're full of dyes, UV brighteners, and other harmful chemicals. But did you know laundry capsules are full of the same harsh ingredients and they struggle to break down, even with some help?
That's just wrong.
And yeah, just checking the chat out real quick here. Let me, as always, thank you to my wonderful mod, Sassy. I see you in here. Thank you so much for coming on board and helping us out. You are amazing, Sassy. God bless you. Sensei, I see you in here. Again, I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Teresa, good to see you. Thank you for the 9 months. Thank you, Kristen, for your amazing work. Thank you. For this amazing support. Marie says, great work, Chris. Piece by piece. Yes. And that'll be part of today's, I think, I was a little 50-50 on, and from my sources, it was kind of like 60-40. Some weren't sure. Some thought it was more likely possible. Man, that's crazy. Is it on the 7th? So it's just around the corner, because we're getting at the end of October, so just a little over a month away. So he'd be turning 17, right? Which is just crazy. All right, guys. Let me know in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you saw my video earlier that I put out. And if you didn't, no worries. YouTube's got to do this.
I'm gonna skip past
Give
what
me 1
he's
second.
already
It might be
shown us
quicker just
before.
to do that. Yeah, let me do that. What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and I have an epic video for you guys today. I have caught Chris Stinkfoot. Okay, so yeah, let me do this. This will be a little bit quicker. People asking about, I was kind of curious how PigFest went. I didn't hear anything like crazy. So I hope it went, good, and there wasn't any, drama, because, it could be used. Anyway, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. As always working hard, always trying to think outside the box, Seth. Trying to do my part, but yeah, prayers for you, and thank you to everybody in the chat, really, for showing him support. I can't imagine, especially, coming up on his birthday, just a month away, and then just after that, you've got the anniversary, 2nd anniversary. I mean, that's got to be a lot. I can't imagine. I'm trying to do everything, and again, and it's not just me, it's our community. And they've been sending me a lot, and we'll talk about that here in a bit. So let's just kind of recap, if you've just not been up to date, of what I caught them doing, which is a huge lie. And there's more to this. This is why I wanted to touch on this.
24. Shortly after PI Fish Sticks was hired, a team including Clue, Cletus, and others went to recreate the 3 a.m. lights by going to location of home that had the camera.
So yeah, like I said, they went there.
So here's the backstory on how this all started. Early when
told them move it to the left, they moved it to the left. It worked, but that was the.
So here is them in the live. This is why I went to this video, because it's just got the highlights. But notice how Clue keeps saying move to the left, move to the left. And I was kind of thinking about this. I'm sure when they went to go recreate this, they're, of course, where we believe the lights are coming from in the common area. And if you listen to what she's saying, move to the left, move to the left. Well, what do you got? You got this, right? So moving on from that.
Of my recreation, I told them move it to the left. They moved it to the left. It worked. It was perfect.
Oh, thank you, Abby.
Like, I mean, you could not, I don't know how you did that, but you legitimately could not have lined that up any better.
Because a few, me and him were sitting there like, is that right?
Sorry, because we got Seth in here, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, Seth. Seth says, it was good. A lot of people remember Sebastian, and he's not forgotten. A lot of his classmates were there as well. No drama, which was pleasant. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Because I know they would probably, it'd be used and be a bunch of videos about, the drama, and that'd take away from Sebastian. So that's good to hear. So happy to hear that. That's amazing.
Right? Is that right? I don't know. Let's try this. I mean, we literally tried it half a dozen times.
Right. Oh, hey, Pincho.
Like,
good
I
to
walked
see
my
you.
ass off.
Man, I hope you've been well.
Trying to.
God, man, you did such amazing work. And I know a little bit about, that kind of work, recreating that from the ground up. And because I did that way back in my younger years, and lost the skills. But I understand how much time that would take.
Some moms want to build income from home. They just don't want to post, pitch, or be online all the time. That's
At 1006, they actually pointed at this one here, and then they had Cletus or whoever go down that guy's driveway. And then from there, he kind of walks down Stafford a little bit. And this is slowed down.
Cletus or someone a part of their team is walking down this neighbor's driveway with a flashlight moving down to the right. This was to recreate the action that happened on the original 3 a.m. video. He then appears to be moving to the left, down the Stafford Road. But there is a huge problem with their recreation. Do you notice how...
Now look, as I'm talking in this, look at how now this is normal speed. Now watch the lights. If you haven't seen this, just watch the behavior of the lights. Let me make this as a little bit bigger as I can here. For anybody that hasn't seen this, and again, if you had, we're just gonna kind of add on to this.
So much that his flashlight appears to be strobing off and on. And no, this isn't Morse code, and no, he does not have a strobe light. It's much worse and completely embarrassing, and I'll explain in the end. All of it will be the foundation of the giant...
And as you can see, the original, and that's at...
Okay, now what did you notice? Okay, first of all, coming down the driveway to take the trash can, when Cletus was doing it, he was going this way, okay? This way. The lights were going this way. So how could it have been the guy carrying the trash down to the road if Cletus went this way, then this way, and this old guy just went this way? It's BS.
Normal speed as well. I didn't slow it down or anything. And notice that, there's only a couple times where it does a little flicker. It goes out for a bit, comes back in, it's in pretty solid, and then does one more little flicker, but it's not strobing the entire time.
Lie in which they were caught telling. Shortly after that experiment, Fish Sticks was asked about their work. Notice his enthusiastic reaction and what he says.
You guys come up here and you get so quiet.
You guys did a great job with that recreation. Really did. I think helped a lot.
Yeah.
What people should know too is that you guys did that multiple times to get it right, just to tweak it. You guys have been out there a couple nights in a row.
So I want to skip this forward real quick because I want to go back and play this a little bit longer. And then when you have the full context and understand why they're not mentioning something that's completely obvious, but we'll come back to this.
That was awesome.
But you can see, look how enthusiastic he is. Keep in mind, remember, at this point, they allegedly, during this experiment, while they're doing it, there was a guy taking out his trash can that where they were at, coincidentally, and they spoke to him, and he admitted, like, yeah, I was the one taking out the trash early that morning. Convenient coincidence?
Well, to me, there's nothing better than the ability. Like, I mean, could it be someone coming down there? Could it be? But
So, pressing on, and we'll come back to this. Then a month later, Fish Sticks goes on to Lore Lodge. And then here is what he talks about.
A month later, just upon the 1-year anniversary of Sebastian's disappearance and what Fish Sticks now claims.
I'm on the spectrum.
What the AI was telling us is that one of them was just anchored.
And you know what's funny? This is another thing. I kind of had an idea, but I was so focused on everything else that I thought maybe they were trying to mention that the floodlights themselves, when he mentioned this, was what he was talking about. And even when Crispy talks about it. But no, they're talking about subject 1, which is absolutely ridiculous. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But that's something as well that I never talked about. And it's like, anyway, it's ridiculous.
And the other was moving and was very likely a flashlight, which gave us a lot of hope that maybe that was Sebastian. And then it was just kind of like dumb luck. As we're doing this test, the cameras are rolling and a light starts moving across the monitor, and it's a guy taking his trash down. And
so they're saying why they did this, that they caught this on camera. According to him, he even mentions monitor. Completely red flag there. And it's a huge red flag, clearly. And I'm sure that he's just referring to their own video. Because when you go back then listen to their live just a month prior, when they're just talking about their new experiment, you notice that there's no mention of, oh, hey, while we were filming, there's this guy taking his trash out, and then we went and spoke to him. No mention of that in the live.
his trash can down from an elevated driveway. And I was not there, but the rest of the people went.
And here we go. Plausible deniability.
And talked to him, and he said that morning that he had forgotten to take his trash out, and he had heard the trash trucks, and with a flashlight took his garbage can, wheeled it down to the curb.
Whether you have money or not, I recommend you buy this. This telescopic clothes rack was a gift from my brother-in-law.
Yeah, it's hard when you're.
So at 3 o'clock in the morning, he heard a trash truck that doesn't come down their road until 5:12 a.m. But this elderly gentleman must have had his hearing aids, providing the good Lord give this man a reason to need hearing aids. He must have had his hearing aids turned all the way up to 20 to be able to hear that truck 2 hours before it was supposed to come down his road.
Making up shit. I mean, I say a lot. I'm just wired that way, but especially when you're lying.
And so that we believe, can't say for certain, we believe that's much more likely. That's probably what that light is. But do I definitely do not. I know that's not. They'll never convince me that was a trash truck for sure.
So here is when fish.
And then that little statement right there. So you're claiming that you literally have evidence of, and you have a guy that admitted to taking out the trash can with a flashlight, but yet then you end with this quote.
No, that's not. They'll never.
Let me back it up just a little bit.
Light is that, but do I? I definitely do not. I know that's not. They'll never convince me that was a trash truck.
Okay, so why would you need to say that if you just now got confirmation that this neighbor's taking out his trash can? Why would you feel the need to now add that in there, which makes no gosh darn sense.
So here is when Fish Sticks conveniently mentions that while they were doing the recreation, a neighbor
Yeah, he heard the
allegedly
garbage
came out with
truck.
a flashlight and took his trash out. Then they claim they spoke with him, and this neighbor admitted to taking out the trash can the night Sebastian went missing. He even claims they have this on camera. Yet when they talked about their recreation back in December, they never mentioned this huge detail. That's because Fish Sticks allegedly used their own recreation to lie about seeing the neighbor and speaking to him. Now let's come full circle and let's listen to Mr. Stinkfeet, where he now mentions on a live show about this new revelation. Trust me when I say I'm going to embarrass them.
3 a.m. and was there a car?
I'm taking this as in reference to the Mob Cruise video.
And then this recording, I believe, is in March. So about a month, a little bit, maybe 2 months after the interview, just after the anniversary.
Yeah, the one he's done 157,216 times.
To go ahead and tell you that, the one lights and the time on the videos are actually wrong. Law enforcement has confirmed that.
Okay, we all know that the lady's camera was messed up, but they also did a recreation. They know the trash truck went down at 5:12 a.m. that morning. And all you have to do is go back in the video to what time they saw these lights. And there's no way 2 hours before that, which was a little after 3, would make the trash trucks. It's just not possible. I mean, how dumb do they think we are if we're supposed to be expected to believe that?
The one looks like it's running down or something. That was actually a gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that. That was actually a gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that.
He's already admitted to that. All right. Well, if you haven't seen it, then you're in for a big reveal. So here is what really happened.
Now the 3 a.m. lights are coming from this common area right here, but they are claiming that the 3 a.m. lights, especially subject number 2, is coming from this home with the steep driveway. But there is a big issue with this. Do you see it? Let's go to the ground view and take a closer look. I wonder why when we compare the two videos. Cletus and Cruz recreation video shows a light that seems to be blinking off and on. I wonder why it doesn't compare to the original light video. Well, it's pretty simple actually when you take the time to do a little research. Here is me showing the angle and direction they're claiming the lights are coming from. Do you see the problem? I wonder why.
Now, I haven't seen this video, but did you see what that Lisa just asked? Wait a second.
A car.
I'm taking this as in reference to the Mob Cruise video.
Dad, you see it.
Finding the right footwear for diabetes, lymphedema, or edema doesn't have to be complicated, especially when you don't have
strobing the entire time. Well,
I went too far.
That was actually a gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that.
He's already admitted to that. All right. Well, if you haven't seen it, then you're in for a big reveal. So here is what really happened.
Now the 3 a.m. lights are coming from this common area right here, but they are claiming that the 3 a.m. lights, especially subject number 2, is coming from this home with the steep driveway. But there is a big issue with this. Do you see it? Let's go to the ground view and take a closer look. I wonder why when we compare the two videos. Cletus and Cruz recreation video shows a light that seems to be blinking off and on. I wonder why it doesn't compare to the original light video. Well, it's pretty simple actually when you take the time to do a little research.
See what Lisa says? How did he hear the garbage truck when it did not come until 2 hours later? That's exactly what I said. Now, I hadn't seen this video.
Here is me showing the angle and direction they're claiming the lights are coming from. Do you see the problem? I wonder why Blinky McBlinker appears to be walking with a strobe light, or trying to do Morse code with his flashlight. I wonder what could be causing that.
So Pincho, they, because obviously, like you said, you know, But they did. They walked down and they turned the camera where obviously that security camera is, because it's angled down. But, they're trying to produce this narrative. But this is why. So if you haven't seen this before, Pincho, then obviously it's not going to shock you. But if you notice, they did go down that driveway to recreate it. But like I said, you see it strobing the entire time. Well, here's the issue and why it's doing that.
That issue? Could it be caused by the 8+ trees that are scattered throughout the 2 yards that would be causing this issue? Yes, that's right. The reason their recreation doesn't work is because the lights would be blocked by all these trees. Even in the fall, all the trees and the branches attached to them would cause this effect. But in the original subject 2, hardly blinks. That's because there are less objects blocking the lights, likely coming from the common area where there are less objects.
See how he's just strobing constantly because even though it's fall, or winter, whatever, you've got all those branches, right? Mr. Blinky McBlinker. And yeah, so the light is just barely, it's just cutting through all those branches, causing this effect. Idiots.
Objects. Imagine certain family members hiring a team and they all allegedly lied about this neighbor and the lights. Ask yourself, why would they do that? How does this help find Sebastian Rogers?
There was no vehicle.
Okay. That's what I'm going to show you on that video. Now let's go to the next video that was also it was just like a couple of hours after this video.
Crew, I'm Chris and I have an epic video for you guys today. I have caught Chris Stinkfoot and former PI Stiff Fish Sticks completely lying about a guy allegedly taking out his trash can at 3 a.m. with a flashlight. I have the evidence to prove it. It is absolutely terrible that they're trying to do this, but please stay until the end. This will be epic.
The one looks like it's running down or something. That was actually the gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that. There was no vehicle.
Most of you that have followed the Sebastian Rogers case should have seen or heard about the 3 a.m. lights video. I have done many live shows and videos breaking down to my best ability on what I believe is going on. What some may not know is that back around December of 2024, shortly after PI Fish Sticks was hired, a team including Clue, Cletus, and others went to recreate the 3 a.m. lights by going to location of home that had the camera and conducted what you would call a control test. But their control test ended up being a complete failure, biased, and they used this to spin a giant lie that I will prove. And how this statement by Chris Stinkfeet is an absolute lie.
The one looks like it's running down or something. That was actually the gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that.
Grammarly is an AI writing tool that works seamlessly with your everyday app, and it goes beyond simple grammar check. Here's how I use it.
So here's the backstory on how this all started. Early winter of December 2024, Clue's live show after they did 3 a.m. light experiment.
Thing at all. It was 15.
And be like, no, I think it needs to turn a little bit this way.
Notice how you hear them. Keep saying, move to the left, more to the left. That's because they are trying to claim the angle in which the camera is facing was towards the left of the home or west of it. In this next clip, they explain more about the alleged camera field of view.
Is that the original footage everybody's been looking at, they put those two lights to the left, and that's not possible. Go to the next one. So if you look at that, right, the original field of view, from the right edge, you got to go about 20 degrees to get to those two lights. All right, which leaves 40 degrees from the wall, right? So go to the next one. So when we draw a 40-degree angle from that wall, we get an entirely different house, right? So at the end of the day, 40 degrees from that wall cannot be 1006 Stafford, which means that what everybody's been chasing as flashlights or whatever the hell cannot be coming from the back of Chris and Katie and Sebastian's house because it's not even in the field of view.
Notice how they want to make it very clear that this camera and 3am lights cannot come from behind the Proudfoot's home. Keep in mind the Proudfeet have hired fish sticks and they are all working together. This entire experiment will come full circle on how I caught them all lying. Here, they actually debunked themselves and didn't even realize it. Honestly, it's pretty embarrassing.
The two lights that you see in the middle there that the arrow is pointing to are actually landscape lights on another house in the subdivision. Go to the next one.
And just wait, because we did do a recreation video, and it is legitimately spot on. You're going to see it.
Notice how they have their 40-degree line cutting right through the landscape lights, but clearly they didn't take a closer look at how their top-down view, the right 40-degree line, doesn't line up. Those lights would be to the left, almost in the center. This is what happens when you're not in it for the truth and what to create a false narrative. But this will all come full circle. So now comes the giant lie and how it all began. So here in this clip was the second part of their recreation, where allegedly Cletus or someone a part of their team is walking down this neighbor's driveway with a flashlight moving down to the right. This was to recreate the action that happened on the original 3am video. He then appears to be moving to the left, down the Stafford Road. But there is a huge problem with their recreation. Do you notice how much that his flashlight appears to be strobing off and on? And no, this isn't Morse code, and no, he does not have a strobe light. It's much worse and completely embarrassing, and I'll explain in the end. All of it will be the foundation of the giant lie in which they were caught telling. Shortly after that experiment, Fish Sticks was asked about their work. Notice his enthusiastic reaction and what he says.
You guys come up here and you get so quiet.
You guys did a great job with that recreation. It really did. I think helped a lot.
Yeah.
And what people should know too is that you guys did that multiple times, saying it right, just to tweak it. You guys been out there a couple nights in a row. That was awesome.
Well, to me, there's nothing better than the ability to do that, right? Because I think everyone questions, like, I mean, could it be someone coming down there? Could it be? But the problem is the angle is just not right at all.
Not for where people were saying that things would come from. You know, like we can pretty much take out that backyard area. You know, it's not a common area. No, it's called a common area, but it's not a common area. Take that out, you know, and it makes more sense what we're looking at. Now, I don't think anybody wants to definitively say, I mean, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but I can't definitively say what exactly every single movie, you know, twinkling light is or whatever, but we have a much better idea of what paths there would be and whatnot.
This live show was done in December of 2024, with the recreation test they did happened shortly before that. Notice how they want to push the narrative that the lights and camera angle are not coming from the common area. Now let's listen to Fish Stick's interview, just over a month later, just upon the 1-year anniversary of Sebastian's disappearance and what Fish Sticks now claims.
So what the AI was telling us is that one of them was just anchored, and the other was moving and was very likely a flashlight, which gave us a lot of hope that maybe that was Sebastian. And then it was just kind of like dumb luck. As they're doing this test, the cameras are rolling and a light starts moving across the monitor, and it's a guy taking his trash down and his trash can down from an elevated driveway. And I was not there, but the rest of the people went and talked to him, and he said that morning that he had forgotten to take his trash out, and he had heard the trash trucks and with a flashlight took his garbage can, wheeled it down to the curb, and so that we believe, can't say for certain, we believe that's much more likely. That's probably what that light is. But I definitely do not. I know that that's not. They'll never convince me that was a trash truck for sure.
So here is when Fish Sticks conveniently mentions that while they were doing the recreation, a neighbor allegedly came out with a flashlight and took his trash out. Then they claim they spoke with him, and this neighbor admitted to taking out the trash can the night Sebastian went missing. He even claims they have this on camera. Yet when they talked about their recreation back in December, they never mentioned this huge detail. That's because Fish Sticks allegedly used their own recreation to lie about seeing the neighbor and speaking to him. Now let's come full circle and let's listen to Mr. Stinkfeet, where he now mentions on a live show about this new revelation. Trust me when I say I'm going to embarrass them.
Lights at 3 a.m. and was there a car?
I'm taking this as in reference to the Mob Crew's video.
Yeah, the one he's done 157,216 times.
To go ahead and tell you that, the one lights and the time on the videos are actually wrong. Law enforcement has confirmed that. The one looks like it's running down or something. That was actually a gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that. That was actually a gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that.
Now, you don't think they, Crispy, Fish Sticks, and their team would stoop low enough to claim that their own video and recreation and pass that off as the neighbor taking his trash can with a flashlight, right? They certainly wouldn't lie about speaking to this neighbor. Well, this is what happens when you get caught lying, allegedly about Sebastian Rogers and this neighbor with the lights. Time to embarrass all of you. Now, the 3 a.m. lights are coming from this common area right here, but they are claiming that the 3 a.m. lights, especially subject number 2, is coming from this home with the steep driveway. But there is a big issue with this. Do you see it? Let's go to the ground view and take a closer look. I wonder why when we compare the two videos. Cletus and Crew's recreation video shows a light that seems to be blinking off and on. I wonder why it doesn't compare to the original light video. Well, it's pretty simple actually when you take the time to do a little research. Here is me showing the angle and direction they're claiming the lights are coming from. Do you see the problem? I wonder why Blinky McBlinker appears to be walking with a strobe light, or trying to do Morse code with his flashlight. I wonder what could be causing that issue. Could it be caused by the 8+ trees that are scattered throughout the 2 yards that would be causing this issue? Yes, that's right. The reason their recreation doesn't work is because the lights would be blocked by all these trees. Even in the fall, all the trees and the branches attached to them would cause this effect. But in the original subject 2, hardly blinks. That's because there are less objects blocking the lights, likely coming from the common area where there are less objects. Imagine certain family members hiring a team and they all allegedly lied about this neighbor and the lights. Ask yourself, why would they do that? How does this help find Sebastian Rogers?
There was no vehicle. My
effing ask Mr. Stinkfoot, you liar. Please share your comments down below. Please share this video, smash the like button, and please...
What do you think? I agree with Mob Crew. I agree 100% with Mob Crew. There's no way that where Clue has the camera pointed could possibly be what was pointed at the back of it. Because in earlier videos that the Mob Crew has done, you can see Chris having the video there and then bringing it to daylight. And you can see where the lights are, the stationary lights that they pointed the one thing. You can tell that is the 2 lights on the porch. On the above the garage on the Proudfoot's house. Those 2 lights. But there's another video that came out later that said that those 2 lights are somebody fighting and carrying. There's a scuffle there and they're carrying a third party. Those lights never move. Never move. And all the times Chris from Mob Crew has done this recreation, this video, those lights have never, ever, ever moved because they're stationary lights. The only 2 lights that move are subject 1 and subject 2. Subject 1 goes this way a little bit. Subject 2 comes down this way a little bit. They meet. They're by the car. Then subject 2 goes back up this way, and then the car lights come on and they leave. I believe Chris from Mob Crew says he has turned in this information to law enforcement, FBI, TBI. So hopefully this has gotten to the right place. And trust me, if Seth Rogers believes it, it's got to be true. And we saw our own self that Seth Rogers believed it. So that's all I've got for today. I thank y'all for being here. I'm going to see if my son found my truck keys. I'll see you tomorrow. Do something nice for someone, even if it's be the reason that they smile and search for crime. Thank you.